Welcome back to educator.com. For the next lesson, we're going to go over discount and sales tax and how to calculate the amount of discount and how much sales tax we have to pay. Now, we all have bought something that was on sale. We've all had to pay sales tax, so this should be a little bit familiar. So first, let's go over discount. Now, the discount we know is how much we have to subtract from our total amount that we have to pay, right? So it's the amount of decrease. Decrease is getting less. So we're going to have to subtract from the regular price. Before we subtract however much we're going to be saving, we have to be able to figure out how to find how much we're going to save, right? Meaning, if you're going to buy something, let's say you want to buy a soda, and that soda is 10% off. Well, how are you going to know how much you're going to subtract, how much less you're going to pay for that soda? So, discount is the percent of the discount multiplied to the regular price. So, how much you're supposed to be paying for that multiplied to the percent will be how much you're going to save. Okay? And then to find how much you're going to be paying, okay, your new price, your sale price, it's going to be the regular price, how much you were supposed to pay, minus how much you're going to save, the discount amount, right? So, again, discount is money. Percent of discount is, well, we know it's percent, times the regular price. So this is also money, right? Then the sale price, we know this is all going to be in money. So the important thing to remember is that to figure out how much your discount is going to be, you have to multiply the percent times the regular price. So all of this is going to equal this, the discount. Now, sales tax. Sales tax is the amount that you have to pay based on the total cost. So there's a percent. You have to pay a percent of that total cost. Okay, so when you multiply the rate, that percent, with the total cost, that's going to give you how much you have to pay in sales tax. Okay? Then, for sales tax, once you figure out, okay, you have to pay, however much in sales, in the tax, then you have to add it to your total cost, right? So then how much your total balance came out to, how much everything came out to, plus the sales tax, you have to pay that together, and then that'll be how much you now owe. Okay? So again, the rate, the percent times the total cost is going to give you how much you have to pay, how much additional amount that you have to pay. So that's all going to equal that right there. Okay? Let's do a few examples. A pair of shoes that regularly sell for $50 are on sale for 10% off. Find the discount. So, regular price is $50. Okay? So if it's not on sale, then you would be paying the $50, right? 10% off. Find the discount. So we want to know how much we're going to be saving. So, you have to find the discount, you're going to multiply the regular price, the $50, times it by the percent of the discount. So that's 10%. Now remember, whenever you use percents in some kind of equation, when you're solving with percent, you have to change it to decimal. So 10% in decimal, okay, you put the decimal point at the end because we don't see one, so it's always at the end. And you're going to move it 2 spaces to the left because That way, remember, decimal is a small number, so think of decimal as small. So you have to make the number smaller by moving it to the left. So this is going to be 50 times 0.10 or 0.1. Remember, 0, if it's at the end of a number and it's behind the decimal point, then you can drop it. And that's going to equal the discount. So 50 times 0.10 or 0.1. Okay, I'll just put 0.10. That's 0, 0. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 5 is 5. You can put a 0 there. You can put a 0 there. Now we add. It's going to be 5, 0, 0. How many numbers do you have behind decimal points? We have 2. So start at the end here, and you're going to go 1, 2. So my discount is going to be 5.00, which is the same thing in money. It's going to be $5. That's how much the discount's going to be. That's how much you're saving, okay? Because, again, 10% of the regular price is $5. Okay, that's the discount amount. And that's all they're asking for. Find the discount. Okay, $5. The next example, a math textbook is 5% off. If the original price is $100, what is the sale price? Okay, the textbook originally cost $100. So, $100. To find the discount, because they're asking for the new price, right? The sale price is the new price. After you take away how much you're saving, that's going to be the new price. Before we do that, we have to know what we're going to subtract, right? What's the discount amount? So discount is going to be the original price, the $100, multiply to the discount rate, the percent of discount. So 5%. Again, we have to change this to decimal. You can't solve anything out with percents. So 5% to decimal is going to be, start here, you're going to go 1, 2. So 0.05. That's 100 times 0.05. Then just multiply it. So 100 times 0.05. That's 0 times 5 is 0. That's 0. 5 times 1 is 5. Here, 0, 0, 0. Okay, it's not going to change anything. We can write it in if you want. Fill in the empty spaces with zeros. Add it. So it's going to be 5, 0, 0. I don't have to add this, right? 0 in the front's nothing. How many numbers do I have behind decimal points? I have 2 only. Okay, here nothing, here 2. So in all, I have 2. So start here, and you're going to go 1, 2, place it there. So this is going to be $5. Now, whenever you multiply by 100, a decimal by 100, remember you can just take this decimal point. If whenever you multiply a decimal number or any number with a number that's a multiple of 10, meaning 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, then whenever, however many number of zeros you have is how many spaces you're going to move to the right, because if you're multiplying, then you're getting bigger, right? So you have to move to the right. So that'll be 2 zeros. It's going to go 1, 2. So it's going to be 5.05, which is that right there. If let's say we're going to multiply this number 0.05 times 10. Let's say we're going to multiply it by 10. Well, 10 only has 1 0. So then you would move this decimal place over 1 time. So it would be 0.5 or 0.5 if you multiply it by 10. If you multiply it by 1,000, you have 3 zeros. So you would move the decimal point over 1, 2, 3 times. So that'll be 50. Okay? That's a shortcut. And again, that's only when you have 1 with zeros, a number like 10 or 100 or 1,000, so on. Okay, so my discount amount is $5. That's how much I'm saving. Well, then I have to take the original price, how much I'm supposed to be paying. So the sale price then is my $100, or the original price of $100, minus however much I'm going to be saving, the discount, and my new amount, the new price that I have to pay, 100 minus 5 is $95. So if you want to solve it out, you can change this to a 10. This becomes 9. So 10 minus 5 is 5. Bring down the 9. $95. That's my new price. Okay. Okay, so let's go over sales tax now. So a shirt costs $10. Find the sales tax if the rate is 10%. So now we have to actually pay more, right? Because sales tax we have to add to our balance, or add to how much we have to pay. So the original cost is $10. To find how much the sales tax is going to be, I'm going to take that $10 and then multiply it to the 10%, the rate, the sales tax rate. Again, I want to change this percent to a decimal, so 10% to decimal. Start here, you're going to go 1, 2, so 0.10 or 0.1. Again, the 0 is at the end of a number behind the decimal point. You can just drop it. So 10 times 0.10 or 0.1. Now look, we can use our shortcut rule, right? Because we have a decimal, or we have a number that's being multiplied to 10. So 1 with a 0. How many zeros do I see here? Just 1. So I can take this decimal point and I can just move it over 1 space. If I were to multiply this number by 100, I have 2 zeros, so I can move this over 2 spaces to the right. Be careful you don't move it to the left. Okay, if you move it to the left, you're going to make your number smaller. So you have to move it to the right so that you want a bigger whole number. And again, 100, you're going to move it 2 spaces over. If it's 1,000, you have 3 zeros in 1,000. So you're going to move it over 3 spaces. And then you have to fill in your empty spaces with zeros, right? So let's get rid of that 100. So 10 times 0.10, 0.1, is 1.0. Remember, I moved the decimal place over once because of that number. So it's 1.0, which is the same thing as 1, right? So my sales tax is going to be 1. Let me move this over a little bit. Give my dollar sign some room. So my sales tax is going to be $1. That's how much I have to pay in sales tax for my shirt. That costs $10 if the tax rate is 10%. Okay. The next example, so we're going to buy a CD that costs $14. It's not on sale, even though that's better. It's on sale. It has 10% sales tax. So let's see. So sales tax. Okay, so then what are we looking for? Total amount that we're going to end up paying, right? Before we figure out the total amount, we need to know how much we're going to have to pay for sales tax. So the total due, or the cost, is going to be $14 times it by the sales tax rate, which is 10%, again, changes to decimal. So this is 14, and then this is 1, 2. That's 0.10 or 0.1. 0.10. You can just drop the 0 if you want. 0, 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. Put zeros in those spaces. Add them. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 4 is 4. 0 plus 0 is 0. 140. How many numbers do I have behind decimal points? I have 2. So from here, I'm going to go 1, 2. So it's going to be 1.40, and that's money. So $1.40 is how much I have to pay in addition to my $14 I have to pay for the CD. So total is going to be the $14 plus the $1.40. 14 is the same thing as 14.00 plus 1.40. When you add numbers with decimal points, you have to make sure the decimal points are lined up. The two are lined up like this. Okay? And then all the rest of the numbers are aligned also. So this is 0. This is 4. Bring down the decimal point. 4 plus 1 is 5. 1, bring it down. So how much am I paying? $15.40. Okay, so that's how much I have to pay for a $14 CD if I have to pay for sales tax. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. Thank you for watching educator.com.